Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jirendra.
Okay. Should we start or shall we wait for Alicia?
Yeah, I think she should be dialing in a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
no problem. We can wait. Okay, you can begin with the Namokar mantra.
Okay, come here, let's go. One second.
Okay, hold on to it. Come on.
Who's doing it?
You are. Let's go. Come on. Say it the right way. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are we doing it?
Yeah. Go for it.
Arihantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Uvajayaram, Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Eso Panchanamo Yaro Sava Pava Panasano Mangalancha Savesim Padamam Hoi Mangalam Padamam Hoi Mangalam.
Chattari Loguttama.
Okay, so let's start.
Chattari Mangalam, Aryanta Mangalam, Siddha Mangalam,
Sahu Mangalam Kevali Panato Dhammo Mangalam. Chattari Loguttama Arhanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevali Panato Dhammo Loguttamo. Chattari Saranam Pavachami Arhante Saranam Pavachami Site Saranam Pavachami Sahu Saranam Pavachami Kevali Nanatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavachami.
Kevalipanatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavachami. Say it one more time, the last line.
Right. Kevali Panatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavachami.
Good, well done. Okay, so now let's start. You can scroll down. So, are we having a test today? Are you prepared? Okay. So we will quickly go through all the questions again before we move on to more topics. So let's start with the smartest, Fiona. So who is called a god?
Go ahead.
Someone that's omniscient and knows everything.
Is that it?
You want to look through it? Take a look. You learned. Okay, say it properly. It's okay.
They're
Omniscient and
unattached.
Vitragi. Yes, correct.
Directly
well
and
done.
Sarvagna.
Okay. Sarvagna. Good. Okay. Next question. Next question is for Alicia. Who is called a Tirthankar?
Okay, I'm gonna read. The one who preaches the right path to liberation and is surrounded by the magnificence of Samvasaran and other glories, and in whom Tirthankar Nam Karma has come to fruition, is called a Tirthankar.
Okay.
So Namkaran, Samvasaran, and liberation, of course. He preaches us the right path to liberation.
Preaches.
Teaches, okay, teaches us.
Okay. Priyana, how many Tirthankars are there?
You remember how many Tirthankars are there?
20.
20?
24.
Yes.
Well done. Okay, so name them quickly.
It's okay, you can do that if you want to. Here. Can you name them? Adinath,
Ajitnath, Savana, Abhinandan Swami,
Sumatinath,
Maprabhu,
Maprabhu, yeah, Parshvanath, Chandraprabhu. Or you can say Suvidinath. Vidinath, Sheetalnath, Shreyanshnath, Vasu, Pujya Swami. Here. Vimalnath, Anantnath, Nath, Dharmanath, Shantinath, Kuntunath, Arnath, Malinath, Muni Surat Swami, Naminath, Neminath, Parvanath.
Raminath and Nemina. Yeah,
Yes.
go on. Parshvanath and Mahavir.
And my one.
Okay, next
Good.
question. Okay, the next question is for Vishal. Are gods 224 in number?
No, there's infinite number of gods. But then all of them are Tirthankars. Yeah.
Because what? Sorry.
No, they're infinite souls, so there can be infinite Arihant or Bhagwan.
Okay. Tell the names of the first, fifth, eighth, 13th. Okay, so this we can skip because we have already
Yeah.
sort of answered it. How many Tirthankars bear more than one name? Fiona, quickly. Adinath,
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 Suvidinath, Pushpadant, and then Mahavir Swami as Vardhaman, Ativir, Veer. Yeah.
Okay, okay, let's move on to the previous lesson. Okay, so the first question is again for Fiona. Define benefaction, supreme, and shelter.
Come on, you got this. We talked about this. Why are you getting nervous? We learned about this. Okay, I'll pull it up so you can. Benefactor the
Arihants,
yeah.
the seeds,
Yeah, right.
the
Sadhu.
sadhus, the acharyas.
Sadhu, which consists of the Upadhyaya and Acharya, is the benefactor. That's right. So who's the benefactor again? Say it, repeat. There are 4 benefactors.
Arihant, Sid, and Sadhu, Acharya,
Upadhyaya.
and Upadhyaya.
Okay, so shelter.
Shelter, come on. Shelter, come on. We talked about this. We learned this. Why are you not remembering?
Shelter is you gotta follow the path shown by the Punchpan Mesti.
Okay, and then next was which one? Scroll down.
It was.
Oh, sorry. Move.
Supreme.
Supreme.
Supreme are the four, again, the four entities are the supreme entities.
Arihant, Sid, Acharya, Upanyas.
Okay. Don't rock like that. Okay. Next question. Whose shelter should we take, Vishal?
So we should take the shelter of the Panchparmeshti, and that's how we'll basically. So we take shelter in Panchparmeshti.
Okay. Fine. And after taking the shelter of Panchparmeshti, what happens?
Basically, they show us the path so that we get an understanding and knowledge of our own soul.
Okay, fine. Wherein lies the upliftment of our soul, Alicia?
By taking refuge in Panchparameshti. Is that it?
Yeah.
By
Wherein lies
taking
the
refuge in Panchparameshti, obtains bliss and becomes free from all the miseries. That is the cycle of birth and deaths of the world.
Okay, fine. And then the last question for Priyala. Recite, sorry, the second last. Recite correctly the Chattari Mangalam verse.
Do you remember Chattari Mangalam? Apne boliye. I'll show you. You can read it. Okay. Here. Chattari Mangalam. Hanta Mangalam. Sita Mangalam. Sahu Mangalam. Kevali Panato. Dhammo Mangalam. Chattari Loguttama. Arhanta Loguttama. Siddha Loguttama. Sahu Loguttama. Kevali Panato. Dhammo Loguttamo. Chattari Sharanam Pavajami. Arhante Sharanam Pavajami. Siddhe Sharanam Pavajami. Sahu Sharanam Pavajami. Kevali Panatam. Dhammam Sharanam Pavajami.
Okay, the last question for Fiona. What do you understand by taking shelter in the five Parmeshti?
What do I understand by
Okay, yeah. What do you understand? Don't read. What do you understand by taking shelter in the Panchparmeshti?
It's a very easy answer.
Simple answer.
That I'm a
In your
soul.
soul, finding yourself in soul.
That I'm what is it?
Say it.
That I'm a soul and not a body.
Okay, good. So if you understand Panch Parmeshti, if Arihant Bhagwan is one with body but is a soul, and then he becomes Siddh. So he leaves his body here and he goes upward. So where does he reside? In what area of the universe?
I think I am. No.
Yes, Alicia.
Siddhalaya.
Siddhale. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Siddhale.
Siddhalaya.
Yeah, but say properly, Siddhale.
Siddhalaya.
Okay, good. Okay, so now let's move on to the lesson before this one. Okay, so okay, like number one we have done. Number two is for Briella, who have been saluted in this mantra, in Namokar mantra. It's very easy.
You are on mute, Alicia.
Oh yeah, thanks. Sorry, I forgot. So when you do JJ Wala in Namo Yantanam, who are you doing it to? You did God who? Who are they? Namo Arhant Bhagwan, Sid, Acharya, Upadhyay, and Sadhu. Yes.
Now say it by yourself.
Who are you doing? Just think about Namo Yantanam prayers. Who are you doing JJ Wala to? Like bowing down and Who are you doing that to?
Namo.
Don't say Namo, just say Arihant Bhagwan. Arihant?
Arihant Sid. Acharya.
Okay.
Upadhyay Sadhu.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So the next is for Vishal. What good flows from reciting this mantra?
By reciting the mantra, we are leading to the right knowledge, and the way we do that is because the mantra is destroying all this delusion that we have, attachment, aversion,
and delusion.
and delusion. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So to like go back to the second question, Alicia, who have been saluted in this mantra? We know that it is Panchaparmeshti. We know that, but just add something extra.
Like who else am I praying to?
No, not who else. Just scroll up quickly and just see.
What? Namoryantaram. Panch Parnamaskar mantra destroys. What is the question then? Benefiction. Like it destroys all sins? Is that what you're asking?
No, it basically we are saluting not just
Panch
the
Parmeshti.
present- Yeah, we are saluting Panchaparmeshti, but the additional what you should have perhaps picked up from this is not just of the present time, but of the past time and of the future as well. So meaning that Arihant who have already become Arihant in the present, who is Arihant Bhagwan in the present?
All the gods would be Arihant.
No. In the present name, give the name. Simandar Bhagwan.
Oh, see, I don't talk about him. I only know 24 Tirthankars.
Yeah. So in the present time, Simandar Bhagwan is a Arihant Bhagwan. So,
Oh, I would
so when we are saying Namo Arihantaram, we are saying to Mahavir Bhagwan who is in the past, and obviously the 24 Tirthankars and the 24 before that and the 24 before that. So that means infinite ones. And not just Tirthankars, but all Arihant Bhagwans. We are not just
Also, not the current ones, those who've already, they have become Tirthankar. And yeah, I get it. Je pehla thai gaya hai already.
So we are not only saluting the Tirthankar Bhagwans who had become Arihant, but also the other Arihant Bhagwans. It could be like Ramchandraji. Yeah, it could be like Ramchandraji. Like for example, Ramchandraji. Then there was like for example Hanumanji, Ramchandraji. All of them had become Arihant. So we are also bowing down to them because they were in the past. In the present, there is Simandar Bhagwan, and in Videshetra, so many other Arihant Bhagwans perhaps, who are just waiting to go to Siddhalaya, like Simandar Bhagwan. So in the present, we are also saluting them. And in the future, you and I are also going to become Arihant Bhagwan. Obviously, we have to have that belief in us. So we are also saluting not only our own soul, but also all the future Arihant Bhagwan.
And Siddh Bhagwan.
So, Piana, who are we saluting in this mantra? Apart from what Briella said,
we're saluting the Arihants from.
No. Don't repeat Panchaparmeshti's names because that you already know. So what did I just explain?
You explained that we're not saluting the person from
the past, present, and future Arihant, Siddh, Acharya, Upadhyay, and Sadhu.
So she also mentioned that you can also be in the future. You will also become Arihant if you have the right knowledge and understanding. So you're also saluting the future that has not yet happened.
You are saluting yourself too. You're saluting.
Yes, you are also you are saluting yourself and the infinite Arihant, Siddh, Acharya, Upadhyay, and Sadhu of the future. Mm-hmm. So not just one, not just maybe like we know that like maybe Alicia knows this, or like maybe Vishal knows this, that in the next Chobisi, in the next 24 Tirthankars. The first Tirthankar is going to be Shrenik Raja. Do you know the story of Shrenik Raja? No. Fiona, do you know the story of Shrenik Raja? Okay, let's do a story today. Okay, so now let's finish these questions and then we can learn about Shrenik Raja. Scroll down. Okay, so we have done question number 4. So question number 5 is for anybody who wants to answer. How is real happiness attained?
But
By
by
following what the path that God has shown us by following.
happiness?
Okay, come and say.
From yourself.
From yourself, yes, well, we are full of
Well
happiness.
done, Briella, well done. So how is real happiness attained? By understanding the soul. So you said it in one sentence. The Panchaparmeshti show us the path. That is true. That is true. But where is this happiness and how is it attained? By understanding the soul. So let's clap for Briella. Well done.
That's right. She's happy for you. Sit. Sit down. Don't move. Sit in one spot. Sit. Okay, I'm gonna
Let's
mute
go
you.
to the first class. Lesson number 1. Okay, so I think we have done all the questions so far. Have we missed out on any questions? Just scroll down. Dev Darshan. Yeah, Dev Darshan is what we missed. We can answer these questions and just revise it before we move on to the next class and the story. Explain the method of Dev Darshan. Vishal.
So you basically take off all it before you're going into temple. You take off all leather articles, wash your hands, wash your feet, and when you go inside, you say Nisi, Nisi, Nisi 3 times. Then you bow down.
What does Nisi mean?
Nifsihi 3 times. And then you bow down in front of the Pratimaji. Then you say your Naukar mantra 9 times.
Namokar mantra.
Namokar mantra 9 times, and then you go around the altar and then concentrate, meditate, and also study religious texts and books, and let's listen to religious discourses and lectures as well.
But what is the purpose of listening to these discourses?
So basically know that who's Atmachu, basically. That's
Good.
the intention.
Okay, yeah, good, well done. Okay, so we have already answered the next question. How and for what purpose should we go to the temple? Obviously, to bow down to Panchaparmeshti, and also to understand that I am a soul just like you, Arihant Bhagwan. I also want to become like you. Okay, what things are prohibited inside a temple? Riela?
What, when you go to Derasar or Mandir, what can you not wear? Leather, yes. Shoes are not allowed, yes.
Dirty hands and dirty feet.
Dirty
Well
hands.
done.
Yeah, very good. Good.
Okay, okay. Now, okay, next is for Alicia. What should we chant at the time of darshan?
Naukar mantra? Namokar mantra?
Scroll up and just check. Make sure that you have not forgotten anything.
And at the time of darshan. Okay, the darshan of God, concentration. Okay, before standing in altar, God chanting Om Jaya 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 Namastu Namastu Namastu. Then Namori Arhanthanam Chattari Mangalam.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
fine. Now, what does Nisihi mean, Fiona?
Okay.
You're giving up worldly affairs.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Like thought from.
Well done. So you actually remember because it is not written over here. So good. You deserve you deserve a star and a clap. Okay. So you are giving up your thoughts because obviously you cannot take your house, your car, your like anything that you like to the temple. But imagine if you're standing in front of God and you're thinking about, oh, I have to go home and do this. So those are the thoughts that you're leaving behind when you say Nisihi, Nisihi, Nisihi. Okay. Scroll down. Let's check if there's any other question remaining. Okay, what rituals should we observe in a temple? Anybody can answer. Maybe Vishal can quickly finish off.
Yeah, so it's all the things I mentioned before from a Dev Darshan standpoint, but then after that you also meditate and concentrate and focus on who Atma chu, who Bhagwan chu, knowing that, just having that thought process part of your meditation. Really, that's the last part of the ritual after you do the all the other pieces in Dev Darshan.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So well done. So this book, I think you are doing pretty well. Let's move on to the next book. Jain Siddhant Praveshika. Okay, have you done your homework? Were you like reciting Namokar mantra and thinking about the soul? Okay, good. 2 people said yes. And the remaining 2? Yes, okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I did. Yeah.
So this book is written by Pandit Gopal Dasji Paraya and it is translated by Brahmachari Hemchandji Jain. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so we will start with the easy question for Riela. Name the 6 substances.
What do you start with? Not Akash.
Kal.
Akash Kal, yeah,
No,
but
no,
what
no,
else?
no, no, no. Say it in order. Jeev,
Oh, G. What's non-living?
Putka.
G, Pudgal.
Dharmastikai.
Adharmastikai. And then the
Akash.
yes.
Kal.
Yes, very good.
okay, fine, good. What is a substance? Alicia?
I'll read it, but the mass of infinite inseparable attributes, gun, is called substance.
Show me,
They're
show me by raising your hand how the gun are laid out.
Everywhere.
oh they're everywhere, and they're infinite gun, and they are not just in one spot. They're everywhere.
Yeah, no, but explain properly. Explain properly. Riela, don't talk in between. Try to explain properly.
That the gun reside everywhere in your hand or any in the soul. The gun are everywhere. It's not just one part.
Yeah, each gun is everywhere in the soul. Each gun.
Yes,
Each gun. So
each gun.
yeah, okay, fine. And okay, so let's read it. That quality which exists in all parts, which is in the spatial units called pradesh of a substance. And sorry, just one sec, it's slightly hidden. Of the substance and in all its modifications is called an attribute.
Attribute.
So is that making sense? Because you have to understand, or like you have to visualize how it is, because it's no point like cramming this or just reading this if you cannot visualize. So let's try to visualize. We will keep the hand flat. I hope you can see my hand flat. So in every area there is one pradesh. There is one pradesh. So now I'm going to ask this to like Vishal. In one pradesh, now think, in one pradesh, the special units, meaning the smallest area of the soul, in one pradesh, how many gun are there?
Infinite,
Explain.
because they are, because that's how a substance is made, because it is made up of infinite gun that are inseparable from each other. They're connected, they're linked to each other.
No. Your answer is correct that it is infinite in each pradesh, but your explanation was wrong. See, in like one pradesh over here, there is Gnyan Gun, then there is Charitra, then there is Shraddha, then there is Virya. So in that one spot, infinite are like infinite gun are touching that one spot. Is
Right.
that making
They're
sense?
they're inseparable because they're not separate. They are all present in that image.
Yeah, but are you able to visualize what I'm trying to say?
Correct. It's kind of like when you draw the when we did the homework, we all colors present all throughout, right? That's what you mean.
Okay.
From a visualization,
Yeah,
right?
fine. As long as you have understood, yeah, fine, that's fine. So, Fiona, explain in like one smallest unit of space of the soul. How are the gun placed? Or and your second question is that in one smallest space of the soul, how many gun are there? Now don't just say it because it's written over here. Try to understand and say it.
What?
I don't want to look at it because then it feels like cheating.
Okay, close your eyes.
Oh my god. So which one am I gonna answer first?
Answer that how many attributes are there in one smallest unit of space in the soul?
Infinite.
Explain it because you should be able to visualize it.
So in this one, the tiny little, since it's spread out everywhere, it's even in that tiny little space that we're talking about.
It's okay, you can open your eyes and like just answer it. It's fine. Yeah.
So
Yeah, go on.
I already said it.
Okay, sure.
No, but it's not clear. It's not sounding complete. Try again.
So since it's spread everywhere in every single area, even in that tiny little space that we're talking about, it's there. Infinite
Go
good.
Infinite good is there.
And
Alicia, have you understood this?
Yeah, I just gave her an example of a layered cake, and you take a small piece of a layered cake, all the layers are there like a goon. I was just talking to her. Yes.
Okay. No, but okay, it's good you brought that example of the cake. For example, on the cake we'll put chocolate, then we'll put jam, then maybe we'll put strawberries. After that, we might put fresh cream. So all these layers are what? They are
goon.
No, what is this? Horizontal.
Or the shape.
Yeah, when like in a round cake, if you have to spread chocolate.
Oh yeah, like with horizontal layers.
It will be horizontal, right?
Yes.
Then if I put chocolate first, then I put strawberries, then I put jam, then I put fresh cream. So everything is horizontal.
Yeah, like layered up. Yes.
But like pariyai is vertical. So gun is horizontal. Pariyai is
vertical.
It's going up. So you have to visualize this because this is very important that you understand, or you can visualize how good and pariyai is in a soul, because we can only imagine, because we have not yet felt the soul. So we can only imagine, and only if our imagination and understanding is powerful, we can experience the soul. So we need to learn to understand how the placement of good and pariyai is in the soul. Riela, try to explain because it is very simple. How are the good placed?
How are good? Like
This way.
Is it like this
Good.
or this? Like this, that's horizontal, that's fine. It's like this. Yes.
Yeah. Horizontal. And how is Paryay, Fiona?
Paryay. How's Paryay?
It is vertical.
It's vertical. So okay, so it is like this. So Paryay is Utpad, which will come later on, but I'm just quickly saying it now. Utpad means it rises. Vyay means it falls down. Now think of one example in nature like that, which you already know. Think of one example in nature which rises and falls back in the water. I've given you a clue.
In the water.
Waves.
Waves? They like go
Good.
up and
Yeah, exactly. So now to understand, if you want to understand how the soul is, you can imagine an ocean. In an ocean, the water is everywhere, right? It is everywhere. So it is basically like horizontal. So the water is everywhere. But the waves, what is it? It's vertical. Vishal, is it clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fine. So you should be able to visualize it. Okay, so next question. I mean, is it clear with everybody before we move on? Fiona, is it clear? Briella, is it clear? Okay. How many kinds of attributes are there? Samanya and Vishesh. So now, what is Samanya? What is Vishesh? Alicia.
Or like common gun and special gun, vishesh gun,
Yeah.
rare.
So meaning to say that there will be some special in each like substance, and but there will also be common in the 6 substances. So now, who will say the 6? I mean the 6 attributes which are there in all the substances.
The astitva gun, vastutva, dravyatva, prameyatva, aguru lagutva, pradeshatva.
Okay, Vishal, explain Astitva.
So it's basically the attribute which is it cannot be created or destroyed. Existence. So being is isness, as we call it, existence. That's astitva.
Systems. Okay, so quickly read the definition.
That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance is never destroyed, but also can never be created by anyone is called the existence attribute.
So Fiona, what else did you add when we were talking about this? This you already know this, and you have been explaining it well in every class.
what?
Okay, let me give you a clue. That who created us?
Who created?
No one.
Why?
Because of that attribute. The
No, just say the normally way you say it. Don't think about the attribute. You always say the right answer. Nobody creates because it infinite. Remember? You're talking.
it's
Because you are a knower. You always say this. Because you're a knower
Are you
and you're
doer?
not a doer.
I
But you have understood it well because you said the correct answer. Because we have astitva gun, nobody can create us. So you did say the correct answer. So now say it again properly.
since we have the astitva gun, we can't be created or destroyed.
Okay, and the remaining answer, because we are a
Because we are
Nor.
a knower, not a doer.
okay, good. Okay, so next is for Alicia. Vastutva. Think like before you look at the paper, just think. Vastutva.
Vastu. The usefulness of a vastu.
Yeah, good.
It means that vastu useful. So that is a gun.
Yeah, Vastutva. So the
Like I can
Hmm.
write
Prayojan.
with a pencil. So the writing part, like it's useful to me. The fact that
Yeah.
it's useful.
No. Not the fact that it is useful, but the usefulness.
the usefulness quality of the pencil. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Useful function. Okay. Is that clear? Is it completely clear?
Yes.
Okay. Next is for Briella only to read, only to read. And if you understand, good.
Those are big words for her to read. I'm not
Okay,
even.
okay, fine, no problem. So
Yeah.
let's move on to Vishal.
So Dravyatva, the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the modification of a substance changes every moment continuously and uninterruptedly is called the changeability attribute. So that's the gun that every substance has. Every moment of time, it is continuously changing. So we are aging every second, every moment, not second, every measure of time, somewhere, I guess you could call it, right?
So the ability for every substance to keep on changing is because of Dravyatva. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the ability for every gun to change every second is not. I mean, second is not the right word. Every samay, it is due to Dravyatva. Because of Dravyatva gun, we have that ability to maybe with the loose translation can be to make pariyal, because it has that ability to keep on changing. Okay. Fiona, is that making sense? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, fine. The next question is for you, Rameyato.
Read.
Define knowability attribute. That potentially or quality by
No, say first Rameyato.
Pramyatva.
Rameyatva.
Pramyatva.
Good.
So read the definition now.
That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance becomes the subject of any kind or kinds of knowledge is called knowability attribute.
Okay, give an example
An example.
by yourself.
Yourself. You're a
Um,
knower. Well,
I'm a knower.
so you have the gun of
Pramyatva.
You want to give an example?
Yeah.
Wait. Let's just finish first with Fiona. Think. Just put yourself on mute, Alicia.
So think what?
what? How does this relate? Explain the Prameyatva for yourself.
What example did we use? How are you knowing me?
How are you knowing me? Because I'm a knower.
Yeah. No, how are you seeing me or like knowing me through the internet?
Because
You're hearing her, you're seeing her through your eyes. Is your eye seeing?
no,
Then what is seeing?
your soul.
Okay. What about when you hear her talk? Is your ears hearing?
No, your soul.
And why is that? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
What?
Go on, continue.
So what? Choose what?
Okay, fine, no problem. Okay. So you can know me because you have that ability to know me. Correct? Read it again. That potentiality or quality, just give me 1 second. That potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance becomes the subject of any kind of knowledge is called knowability. So you have something in you that I can know you. And you have something in you that you can know me. Can you give an example, another example, which, okay, something that you use every day in the morning to look at yourself?
A mirror.
Good. So the mirror has an ability to know you, right? Imagine if you put like a black glass. Will that black glass be able to know you?
No.
No. But the mirror has that ability to know you, right? It has an ability of like reflection.
That means it knows you not. It can't copy you.
Yeah, it can't, yeah, good. It can't copy you, but it can know you. So fine, so that's good. So is that making sense? Imagine if you put a black paper. Will that black paper be able to see you or to give that reflection of you?
It's
No.
I can't see myself.
But it's only the mirror which can give a very perfect reflection of you. So this is exactly what is happening inside. Now, maybe later on in school, maybe when you're in high school, you will learn the same is with the eye, that it reflects objects, and that's why we can see it. But so the same is happening in the soul. Okay, so fine. I mean, whatever you are understanding is good enough for now. Maybe later on you will be able to understand more. So the next question is for Vishal. Aguru Lagutwa. Say the name
Aguru Lagatwa.
and explain without looking.
So this is the guna where a substance, nothing can get added, nothing can get removed. There is no, because of our individuality, we are basically cannot change into, a substance doesn't change into another substance. This is the attribute by which we are not scattering, we are not splitting up, we are not adding anything, we are not removing anything. And that's the attribute or gun.
Yeah. So what are we not removing and adding?
I mean, nothing really. I mean, knowledge is the only thing that we
Attributes. We cannot add attributes. We cannot remove attributes.
move, right?
So it is due to this attribute that we cannot remove our existing attributes, or we cannot add anybody else's attributes from anyone. Yeah. Okay. Good. Fine. So the last question is for Alicia. Pradeshatva.
Oh, Pradeshatva is like that when you were explaining in our hand, the smallest area.
Read it. Read it.
That the potentiality or quality by virtue of which the substance always exists, or substance will always exist in some shape or form, occupying, so it occupies space. That is Pradeshatva, occupying some spatial units, is called shape formation attribute, Pradeshatva. So it takes Jagya, it takes the space.
So what two examples did we use that you had to do homework on?
Well, the homework was Namakar Mantra and soul, thinking about soul.
No, not this week, when I gave you homework for this.
It was before we talked about the different types of guna.
No, the like the two forms of shape that Siddha Bhagwan is in.
Oh, there is no shape. It's just like an outline. Oh, that's his Pradeshatva, the outline of a soul, not the body inside.
So what two shapes are there of Siddha Bhagwan?
I only know one shape. It was just the outline. What's the other shape?
So one is like the meditative posture, and the other one is the standing posture.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay.
Look, just go up like to the front cover of this.
I forgot the name of the The awesome.
Yeah, go to the front cover of this book.
Oh, him standing. Oh, I was picturing that, but just sitting like this.
Look
but not
over
standing.
here. Look over here. Can you see this person without eyes, ears?
Yes.
So that is what Siddha Bhagwan is like. So that is the shape that he gets. And what is the other shape that Vishal was showing on the screen?
The God sitting?
Yeah,
just
the meditative posture without the eyes. Yeah, so that's it. So it's like a person in like meditation, but without eyes, ears, like basically without the like the body features.
Body parts, or okay, the features. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So if you have any questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, we can move on to the story.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So shall we move on to the story?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. So you can...
Okay, now get up and sit here. At least get up and sit. Sit in the. Come in the front, please.
Okay. So this story is in the time of Mahavir Bhagwan. And Mahavir Bhagwan had, okay, so who was Mahavir Bhagwan's mother's name? Trishula, right? And like Trishula had two sisters, Chandan Bala and Chelna Rani. So what were the two sisters' names? One was Chelna Rani and the other one was Chandan Bala. So this story is about Chelna Rani's husband, Shrenik Raja. So a long time ago, they lived in a kingdom and where everything was very prosperous, luxurious, and they had everything good happening for them. So Chelna Rani used to believe in Jain Dharma. And Shrenik Raja used to believe in Buddhism, which was called Bodh Dharma. So Chelna Rani was a very strong character and she always used to preach that Jain principles are the correct principles because Arihant Bhagwan has seen himself and after that he's preaching. He's not just preaching out of imagination. So she used to always try to tell to Shrenik Raja that look, Jain principles are correct because Arihant Bhagwan has experienced himself. On the other hand, Shrenik Raja would not believe her because he had faith in both, in like Buddhism or in Bodh Dharma, where they only believe in Pariyat. They don't believe in Dravya, meaning the constant part. They only believe in the changing part, in like Buddhism. And in Jain Darshan, we believe in the constant part and we believe in the changing part. So what happened one day, Shrenik Raja had invited some like Buddhist monks to his palace for lunch because he wanted to prove to Chelna Rani that look, my monks also know everything like Arihant Bhagwan. Also, they are Sarvagna. Also, they are omnipresent and they know everything. And like Chelna Rani knew that look, this is not true, and so she decided to trick them, or like rather to like test their knowledge. So what she did in this, so she served them some kheer, and she asked them, "How is the taste of this kheer?" So obviously they said, "Oh, it is very very nice." And then she asked these monks, "What did I put in this kheer?" So obviously they started to say milk and rice, etc., etc. And then she asked, "Anything else?" They're like, "No, this is how I mean, like this is how kheer is made." And then she told them that I put shoes in this kheer. I had added some shoes in this kheer. And then they just spit out the kheer. They're thinking that, oh my God, how can we eat this kheer? You had put shoes in it. So obviously they could not tell the past or they could not tell what she had done. So they were not omnipresent. And this really annoyed Shrenik Raja because he got annoyed that why did my queen or my wife treat my monks or my belief in like such a way. So he was really angry. He went to the forest And there he saw a Digambar Muniraj sitting in dhyan. So he was obviously not concentrating on Shrenik Raja. The Muniraj was just within himself. His name was Yashodhar Muniraj. And this Shrenik Raja was so angry at like Chelna Rani that he wanted to take like revenge on like basically her fate. So what he did, he took a dead snake which was there in the forest, and he went and put it around the Muniraj. And then he was very happy about it because he thought that the Muniraj will break his dhyan and he will now look at the snake and he will try to remove it, and he might get angry or he might react. So then obviously he went back to his palace and he was very happy that he taught Chalna Rani a lesson. So when he like narrated all these events to like Chelna Rani, she said that look, my Muniraj will still be in dhyan. He will not look at this snake or he will not be bothered by it because you see he's a Vitrag Sant. Vitragi Sant will not get bothered by upsarg. Upsarg means that anything that comes from external which is bothering or like which is bothering the body, because he's no longer associating or believing he's a body anymore. And so both of them went back to the forest. And they saw that around the snake there were lots of microbes, there were lots of insects, crawling around the Muniraj's body. But the Muniraj was so focused in his dhyan, so like within his soul, that he did not move. He was not bothered. He did not have a frown. He was not crying. He was just very much focused within himself. And this Shrenik Raja, when Shrenik Raja saw this, he was puzzled first. It's like, what? Why hasn't this Muni Raj moved? And then he realized his mistake. And after that, he realized, yes, that this Muni Raj is the correct kind of Muni who is always focusing on the soul and not on the body or external objects. And then he apologized to the Muniraj. And the Muniraj then told him, obviously, that it's fine. It was not your fault. You have done it in anger, and also because you did not have correct understanding of the principles. And it is this Shrenik Raja who is going to become the first Tirthankar in the next Chovisi, meaning in the next 24 Tirthankars, Shrenik Raja will become the first Tirthankar, because after that he adopted Jain principles. Meaning not like you, not like us who just talk about it, but he experienced the soul. He achieved Shaik Samyak Darshan, which you can remember. He achieved Shaik Samyak Darshan in Mahavir Bhagwan's Samavasara. We only get Shaik Samyak Darshan in the presence of a Tirthankar. We cannot get Shaik's Samyak for right now in our time frame, or which is called the Pancham Ara, because there is no Tirthankar present over here. So we can achieve Samyak Darshan, but we cannot achieve Shaik Samyak Darshan. So he attained the highest level of Samyak Darshan, meaning that he experienced his soul. But because he did such a hideous act, you see, he did not want to harm the Muniraj alone. He had revenge on Jain Dharma. He had revenge on the past, present, and future Munirajas. Because he had so much anger within him that he wanted to take revenge on like Chelna Rani and her religion or on her belief, that he went and put a snake on the Muniraj. And because he did such a hideous act against Jain Dharma, not against the individual Muniraj, but against the principles of Jain Dharma and against the very, very pure Jain Dharma, he is now in hell. He's now in the first hell because of his very, very poor acts. Now, what had happened, because when he put the snake on the Muniraj, he did not have Samyak Darshan. So at that time, he got karma of going to the seventh hell, which is really horrible. Like literally, they have very few houses. Houses over there is called Bill. And in this bill, there are so many people living. There are so many people. Imagine in a very small hut, if there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people living in a small hut, how will they feel? So this is the amount of pain there is in the seventh hell. There's a lot of pain, like a lot of hell, pain. But because he achieved Samyak Darshan in the body of Shrenik Raja, then because he had already karma bandi lidutu to go to Narak, that karma hell. So instead of now going to the seventh
Can you
hell,
repeat the sentence? Like the video was chopped off.
yeah,
The audio. Yeah.
yeah. So instead of going to the seventh hell, because he attained Samyak Darshan, now he's in the first hell. And the reason being because he attained Samyak Darshan and a karma ocha the gaya. His karma decreased. But because he had already built that karma of going to hell, that cannot be changed. But because he achieved Samyak Darshan, now he's not in the seventh hell, now he's in the first hell, where even the time frame is less of being in the first hell, and also the amount of pain is less in the first hell. But obviously, there's a lot of pain. We cannot even imagine how much pain there is. There is, like there's no sleep over there, there's no day and night over there, there's no man and woman over there. There is a third ling called Napunsak, like what we might call hijra maybe, or like something of that sort, that there is no men and women over there. There is just a lot of pain and pain and pain. He's suffering all the time. People are cutting him, people are chopping him again, and then the body is shattered again, the body comes back together again. He's been hit, killed, he's been thrown into the fire. After that he's been thrown in like a river where there are lots of thorns. That's what happens for thousands and thousands and thousands of years in the hell, in like all the seven hells. Now in the first three hells it is very, very hot. It is extremely hot. And in the next four hells it is very cold. So this is the amount of pain Shrenik Raja is suffering, simply because he did not understand the nature of the soul, and he did not understand the person who is explaining to us the nature of the soul, which can be Muniraj, it can be Upadhyay, it can be Acharya, and it can be Arihant. And because he had a very like negative or a very kashai thought on the Muniraj, so he is not suffering because of his act of putting a snake. He is suffering because of his thought. He is suffering again because of his thought, and not because of his action of putting the snake on the Muniraj. So thoughts are more important than the action, because in action we might pretend to smile, but inside I might be thinking something else.
Wait, I'm gonna ask. Wait.
Yeah, Brenda, you can ask. We can't hear you.
She unmuted. So did Shrenik Raja put the snake on the Muniraj, or he thought about it?
No, he put it.
He did
He
it.
did do it. He did do it, but it is to understand, in case if he did not also, in case he did not put the snake on the Muniraj, but he had that thought, and we get the fruit according to our thought and not the action.
Oh, that's serious.
Yeah. So at times we might be smiling, but inside we are thinking something negative. And this is the fruit that we get. And so it is very, very important to understand or to visualize how the layout of the soul is, because only then we can get thoughts about the soul. Otherwise, we're just doing kriya meaning that we're just doing actions, like we're just reading the textbook and we are just, like remembering the words. But we don't really know what the soul is, or we have got no visualization of how the soul is. And so this is the story of like Shrenik Raja. So the lesson to be learned from this is, no matter how much bad we might have done in the past, we do not have anything to worry about if we start to understand the soul. So there's no need to feel bad that, oh, I have done so many bad deeds in the past and now I cannot become Bhagwan. You can still become Bhagwan. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two is to understand the nature of Muniraj, Upadhyay, and Acharya. Because if we do not understand the true nature of it, we might, curse them, or we might, speak negative about them unknowingly. Like how Shrenik Raja did it unknowingly, he just did it out of revenge. But if he had understood the nature of Muniraj, Upadhyay, and Acharya, he might not have done like an act like that. And the third thing is to learn from Chelna Rani, who was a Samyak Drashti chief. You see, she was just not preaching that Jain principles are correct, Jain principles are correct, but she had experienced the soul. And because she had experienced the soul, she was so firm in her faith that no, these principles are correct. So only through experience we can actually say with full conviction that these principles are correct. So we should not have blind faith. We should understand the principles so thoroughly, and we should question where we don't understand. Because this is what Sarvagna Bhagwan has told us. So we should understand it, how it is, how it is in nature, and not how my understanding is. Because my understanding might not be correct, but we have to try to understand how it is actually in nature, how it is. So, so the lesson to be learned from Shrenik Raja's story is we can all become Arihant Bhagwan. No matter what we have done in the past, we should not feel bad about it or feel guilty about it, because in Jain Dharma, it teaches us to live in the present. Okay, any questions, or we can end the session? We have had a long session today, and it's good that you have been very attentive.
It's the story time, because I
Yeah.
don't know the story except Chandan Bala's stories. I don't know anything when you say
What
it.
I will do, I will like send it to you on like YouTube, and you can like watch it. Yeah, I will like send it to
So
you
much
on like
better.
WhatsApp. Yeah, so then you can watch it again.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know, because I would, because it's good to know some of Jane's stories too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so like maybe you can do this like on the weekends. Maybe like you can read together any one story, because you know already two stories. You know one of Kund Acharya,
Yes.
and you know of Shrenik Raja.
Now I do. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. So let's meet next Saturday. I guess in the afternoon, and your like only homework is to like recite Namokar mantra and to think about the soul.
Perfect. Okay, good. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. Good
Jai
night.
Jinendra. Real.
Jai
Jai Jinendra. Yes. Okay. You want to press the button? Button. Yeah. Press the button. There we go.